let me start. Y'all can see how I'm dressed tonight. Usually I come in with a coat. But tonight I got a Chapman Panther championship shirt. And how that came about was Friday night before when Glenn, the mayor of Chapman, Cornelius Huff, nice fella, wanted to get a hold of me and told me to call him. So I was heading to the wellness center that Friday night, and I called him on the way. And he was at a pep rally for their football team, and they were hooping and hollering it up and everything. He said, "Mr. Mayor," he says, "I want to, after some small talk, I want to challenge you to whoever loses has to wear a hat of the other team at their council meeting." I said, "Well, I can't back down. I got to stand up for the Wildcats. I mean, when I get challenged." So I did, and I even said, went a step further. I said, "I'll also bet you I'll stand in front of Facebook with a picture if we lose." But he didn't call me back on that. So I accepted the challenge, and he...
a selfie?
No. And I said, I picked it with him. I said, "I just want you guys to hold it 21 points. So we got down there, and I didn't go watch it on TV. And he's a good fellow. That team played hard. Hats off to him. Seems like a great town, great mayor over there. I told him he could view watching me with the T-shirt with the Herald, probably the quickest way on their website. So congratulations to the Chapman Panthers, the 3A state champions in football in South Carolina. Also want to congratulate Dillon on a heck of a run. I haven't done that yet. The Dillon Christian School, Lakeview Wildgators on their championships. Also, our two young kids on the county league teams that did very well. One was a state champion. So hats off to all of them. Real proud of you. Did a great job on your season. I know you look forward to continuing that next year. With that out the way, I'm going to ask council tonight if you can. I don't know if you're a Clemson fan or if you aren't a Clemson fan, but if we can keep our comments as minimum as possible to get out of here. Let's take our national championship. It says 8 o'clock. It's probably more like 8:15, so I'm going to rush through my stuff. We'll certainly take care of business with the city, but if it's something that can hold off, it's rather lengthy, I ask you to do that at the next meeting if possible. I just got a couple things. See, Maggie's still out. She had hip replacement surgery.
She got out of Health South late last week.
Okay, I hope she's doing well. I sent her a text, an email. Hope that she seemed to be doing fine from what I heard. That's what's held up my facade grant proposal, which I've been waiting on. So that's why I don't have it, because of Maggie and her recovering and doing her rehab. We have had activity on Main Street. We'll go into that much detail. You don't see it, obviously, but there is. There's been some purchases there on Main Street. Had a call from an accountant from some of the property owners that would like to meet with their ideas. I told them I would be more than glad to meet with them anytime, and nothing's off the table when it comes to that. Whatever is reasonable they think we need to do, everything's on that table with Main Street, with our property owners. But I'm ready to get the groundwork in on at least the facade grant. I'm kind of frustrated we haven't gotten that up and going, at least the paperwork with the guideline of what to do. So as soon as Maggie gets back, that's the first thing I'm going to ask her to finish up and complete that for us going forward. January 17th, next week, I got a meeting with the theater board just to see where the status of the Dillon County Theater is. I'm going to bring somebody in with the county. Donnie, if you more, I think it's 9 o'clock. Whoever would like to go, please come. That's January 17th. That's on a Tuesday week.
9 o'clock.
If I recall, I'll call you. I got it written down. I'm almost certain it's 9 o'clock. The Wellness Center, Glenn, we got a number of machines down. They're out. Elliptical, a couple of the machines, and they're down.
We put in, they've got them being repaired, and the ellipticals, what we do a PO last week for about $5,000 to have 2 ellipticals repaired. And I don't know if I wasn't out there today. We had a treadmill. And they're about $7,000 piece of equipment.
You're talking $5,000 for a couple of ellipticals?
Yeah.
Not one.
Not one. To be repaired.
One of them's the new one.
And they're about 7,000 apiece, brand new. Janet gave me that same look, but I figured it's better to spend 5 instead of 14. I know we had one treadmill that was down last week. I don't know if they've come to replace the belt on it. But those POs have been ordered, and then I'll follow up on some other things for Wellness Center.
Last thing is, I know we're gonna get into it next month on the audit, but one thing I learned on the audit was, if there is a way we could hire an in-house engineer would be the way to go. So, and I'd like, whatever you can do to do that, or maybe look at a qualified engineer, perhaps, and move forward with the one that we got, that's fine, but when we get more in the budget, you're gonna see what water and sewer's costing us right now. It kind of took me back a little bit. Okay.
Well, that's why we got rid of, Hussey, Gay, Bell, and Young, worried about the cost. I think for 6 months, a year, we were all right, and now they're right in line or more than.
And we're spending a lot of money there. on
What
water.
is Hannah costing us?
Well, I don't know the exact number of what we paid out of them, but I met with 2 of those folks. Hardy and I met with them last week on some projects that we're doing and getting ready to do some more projects. And I presented that, guys, what would it cost for the city of Dillon to hire a full-time engineer, water and sewer type person? What was the number you remember?
He said 150 on the salary.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Relative to what we're paid?
I don't know exactly what we pay a year. I mean, I can't
Well, it
give you a
depends
number.
on your number of projects.
That is correct.
Project of
As of
1.2
today,
million is
what we pay?
120,000.
I don't know that.
It's about 10%.
10% about what our cost
Yeah,
is.
but I've looked at some of these projects, and those, they get that 10% in, and then all of a sudden there's this witness fee that they're witnessing all this is happening, and that's
Inspection
added
fee,
onto
yeah.
it. That's supposed to be part of it.
Well,
That's the norm.
we'll
No, that's
definitely-
not the norm. 10% is the norm. 10% is what the engineering cost of a project should run. And that should include observing whether the things happen or not. That's my understanding.
I will follow up on that.
Well, in essence, the time, that's coming up. We got plenty of time to talk about that coming up in the budget.
And we'll get together what we spent on an annual
Yeah.
basis
Yeah, so
with them.
You know what you could do if we knew that we had a number of projects is say, look, we want to pay a flat fee, part of somebody. We want to we don't need one full-time, but maybe we could say, we want to pay half of his salary for the year, but we get unlimited amount of, maybe they'd be willing to do something like that.
Good.
It is. I've looked at some of these, costs, and they're just outrageous.
They're high. It is high. And one of the things that, in their discussion with me and Hardy last week is you can hire somebody, but all of them, I'm trying to think of the words they know they have to utilize outside people, just as Hannah Engineer does, to do things as far as from electrical standpoint, because they don't have electrical engineers on staff.
Right.
So, I mean, that's
Kind of like having a physician. You still need an oncologist, you still need a cardiologist. It's not, I think that approaching them with a flat fee a year, but let's make sure that we've got in line projects that will warrant, anyway.
we'll look into it. I mean, he can put the pencil to it, pen to it, and get a better idea down the road. And that's all I got for now.
Well, follow up on the Wellness Center. Last month, y'all approved expenditures up to $25,000 on new equipment at the Wellness Center. That equipment has been ordered based off information that some of the members discussed with the staff, and along with the personal trainers we have out there. Should be in sometime early February. And one of the things that we've got to do, since we're actually adding more equipment in the weight room side, we're Stratford's facing that. So we're gonna flip-flop the weight room and the aerobics room. Aerobics room is bigger.
I thought we had a special floor in the aerobic room.
Well, we can take that up, that comes right up. And we're gonna put that where the weight room is, and then we've ordered a flooring for the new weight room, which is a rubberized matting system for about, I think it's $5,000, which is a part of that $25,000,
How much did you spend on the equipment itself?
about 20 grand.
So you're gonna take the other 5,000.
That's for the floor.
So where the freestyle weights are right now, the floor's coming up. What are we gonna do about that? Are we gonna put some new carpet down?
No,
there?
we'll take what's in the aerobics room, the flooring in the aerobics room is
Put
the
that-
same flooring that we have in the gym on the basketball court.
Right.
We're gonna take that up and put it on the weight where the aerobics room will go to. So we don't, and we'll have to probably take the carpet up, yes, because it's torn in places.
Right.
But all it does is sit on concrete anyway, just as it does in the aerobics room as it is now. So we just gonna flip-flop that. And trying to time it out when we get our new flooring in, find a day that is slow and move that equipment.
That would be their workout that
It will be. And we've had members that have agreed to come in and help us whatever day we can do it to.
What about the installation for the TVs?
Those are gonna be put in Thursday. We are scheduled to be here Thursday morning. It's cost us $1,800 for the installation of the TV. Same guy that, we got two bids, one was $1,800 and one was $2,000. Did I say 18,000? I'm sorry, 1,800.
day. Still,
Yes, it's still more than what we pay for
how many
TVs.
TVs?
3.
$600 a piece to install it?
Well, he's got to rent a scissor lift, because you can't take those TVs that's up there now, those are the old style, they probably weigh 150, 200 pounds. He's got to rent a scissor lift to get those down. And then put in a new system to hang the, because the system that's there now
Can't be modified.
can't be used for the flat type screen TVs for what we have now. So actually, we're paying more for labor than we did for the TVs, but we did get the TVs at half cost when they were on sale, so. But all that should be done on Thursday if everything goes well. And then the repairs to the equipment, I've wrote a note here, I had $6,000. But that also includes the benches where the vinyl on the benches are breaking and tearing to recover those, so.
Is there any way to bring light back to the flooring? Because it looks like it's real dingy looking, the carpet. I guess it's the carpet that's on top of the concrete.
It was clean, we clean it twice a year. When I say clean, I mean, they come in and steam clean it twice a year, and it's probably done in November. Is that when they did it? Usually do it November and June. But yeah, I mean, just same thing in the multi-purpose room. My carpet in the multi-purpose room is in bad shape. It is real bad. And just because of the use in it. We can look to get.
Do they do both sides when they?
Yeah, they do the whole, they do the carpet and the floor, the hard floor. They strip it and polish it, so they do that in
Maybe when
November.
we do our budget, maybe we ought to put that in the budget. So
But the carpet in the multi-purpose room is in real bad shape. It just stains after stains, and you just can't get it up because it has gone through the carpet into the concrete, and it just comes right back. Going back to water and sewer, last month I presented you 2 bids, which you accepted on the water tank construction. And I told you there was a 3rd bid that we didn't accept because it came in at $165,000, about $100,000 more than what was actually estimated. So it was rebidded. We had that open last Thursday, January the 5th, and we received 2 bids. Low bid was $133,000, the high bid was $140,000. I gave you right prior to council meeting a letter from Hannah Engineering as a recommendation to accept the low bid of $133,000 from AAA Utility. Anchor Electric and Control was $140,000. And then on the 2nd page it breaks down the cost for the what each line item of that cost for the contractor would be. Now, with that being said,
Make a motion.
okay.
Well, let me ask you something. You were talking about the engineer a while ago. Like, Hannah's recommending us, take one of these two. Is he getting a kickback from this, or, I mean, he don't get anything for
Call it
recommending?
fee.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over that in a moment. I've got that broken down for the whole project. I'm gonna go over that for you.
I call it a kickback.
So you got a low bid of $133,000 and a high bid of $140,000 for
Motion.
the SCADA system.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, now
Let
with
the man
that.
tell the motion, let him tell us about what's going
All
on.
right, with that, now I'm going to put everything in for the whole project, because we got to borrow the money. And those folks will be here at the next council meeting in February. If you remember, and I'll go back and throw these numbers at you. The tank itself is $690,595. The water lines that's got to be constructed in the Hudson Street and South 11th Avenue area is roughly $85,930. And then the SCADA system, which you just approved, the low bid is $133,000. For the construction of this project, we're now looking at $909,526. Then you have, which we haven't paid that I know of, if we did, we get it back, $88,150 for engineering design, $50,600 for inspection from the engineers, and then $90,953, which is 10% of the actual construction cost of $909,000, is contingency that SRF has put in. Doesn't mean we'll spend it, but it's there in case.
That's not an engineer thing.
That's not an engineer thing, that's SRF.
So the engineering thing's $140,000 on a $900,000, that's 15%.
$88,000 for design and $50,600.
I think I would ask them, why is it that you're 15% and market's 10%?
I will.
That's out of line.
And I would
And I've
call
also-
Buster, I tell you what, Buster Bell would give you an estimate on what it would run, from start to finish.
Now these numbers, once again, let me finish, and I agree with you. The $88,150 for engineering design, the $50,600 for inspection, those numbers were built as when we were looking at 1.5 million.
Right.
That's right, so they've got to come back.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Before you make that call, you give an opportunity to make that adjustment.
Just as contingency originally for $1.5 million, the contingency that SRF put in was $116,000, which now has come down to $90,953.
Contingency is just if overruns and stuff like that.
Well, go start and you find something in the ground that you didn't know was there, basically, is what that would be, based on what SRF told me. So if you add those numbers as they sit right now, that's $1,139,227. Of that, we're getting $749,000 from SRF, principal forgiveness. In other words, they're giving us $749,000, we pay nothing back.
I feel the love.
Subtract that $749,000 from the 1.137, and if my math is correct, that leaves us about $390,000. That's what we would borrow from SRF. Now, it could come down on two things: engineering design and inspection.
Tell you what rate,
Pardon?
borrowed the loan?
1.5%. 1.5%. Now, the question would be, and I don't remember, but I think it is for 20 years.
Yeah,
But I don't know if we want to do 20 years for $400,000. I mean, that's going to be your call.
We do 10, and you not do 10 on the 42,000 for
Yeah.
the bridge?
We did.
It'll be 120 years. I mean, mean, at that, that's, what, $4,000 a month? You know?
You know, under that contingency, you know, one time we were looking at the wellness center out there, we had an issue with the soil. That's gonna cost a whole lot more money. Is this thing a possibility for a tower?
Well, they tested the soil,
They did that
But-
before we put the pump in.
but at the same time, you got a member of the footprint. You're talking a footprint of the one the wellness center was looking at, they're 40,000 square feet. Whereas the footprint for the well's not gonna be as tall, I mean, as wide.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Yeah, but didn't we do that study though before we put the well in?
I think so. Well, I know it was,
Would have made sense
Yeah.
to, I mean,
you
it's
built
a
we've
two-part
got a-
thing, we built
that's
the
right.
well, then we built the tower,
That's
but we
correct.
wouldn't have put a well there if we couldn't put the tower there.
That's right, that is correct.
I mean, to be
Do you
sure we
recall
did.
one?
Yeah, they've already tested the soil. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, I thought, thank you.
And it was also in a different location too. I mean, on the wellness center was looking to go on the opposite side. And, you know, could be difference there, but also a larger footprint.
I mean, you're just talking about contingency, I didn't know.
And well, the contingency would be something like that. They get in there, they dig, and they get deeper than what they anticipated and find out that they've got to do some kind of soil compaction or amendments to that. So, or if there was a run over, if iron shot up like it did actually when we were building the wellness center. Remember, that cost went up because the iron cost
Yeah.
went up. So, but we're gonna get $749,000 free money. We look like we need to borrow $390,000. And I guess what I need from you tonight, do you want to do this for 10 years or 20 years so we can have the
You
the
know,
ordinance prepared and ready to go for final reading in February?
and I don't, my feeling is you do it for as long as you can. 1.5% money is dirt cheap, and then pay it off if you have a surplus.
Okay.
I mean, if it
So you're
was
gonna do
different,
it?
I'd say 20 years, just, not to be contrary, but just.
Make sure there's no guidelines in there saying that you'd be penalized paying it off. They may
Yeah,
not.
oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
need
they're
to
probably
check on
gonna have a
that.
2 or 3 year payoff penalty, but, you know, if it's after 3 years, you know, I'd say let's do that and just not bind ourselves up. I still think we're gonna have some issues to
Oh,
deal
yeah.
with, you know, some other water and sewage issues.
So we know that there's
We got phase 3 out there at the, plant, and,
we've got 4 or 5 projects that we talked about
Yeah.
with them last
Yeah.
week.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd say do it for 20, and then if we have the opportunity to pay it off sooner, that we can do that.
It's all be contingent on the finance rate too, on the 10 and the 20 years.
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
change.
Doesn't
Doesn't
change.
change.
If you can get 1.5 for
Yeah.
20, I'd make the motion we
I'll
do
say,
that.
you can run the amortization on a 10 and just make a 10-year payment. as long as
Yeah,
it's
that's
right.
right, that's right. And then it's all close.
All right, you got a motion?
John,
I'll second. Johnny
Johnny.
second. All in favor? Opposed?
All right, and the bonds attorney will be here at our February meeting to go over the final reading. We gave the first reading in December. The final reading will be in February. They'll be here to go over that with you. And then probably that Tuesday, the next day is when we'll close.
They said that night.
Okay.
They'll go ahead and sign the paperwork, do it that night, try to close it.
And the last thing I have at this time is, we started last year with it, we said we'd do it every year, the annual rate study. We got the audit, the draft of the audit last week. Smith will be here, our auditor will be here in February to present it. He was scheduled to present it tonight, but for some reason that school in the upstate's playing tonight, and he's gone to campus, so can't do it tonight.
Okay.
That's all I have, Nate.
All right, thank you. So I said Maggie's out recuperating, so we're gonna go to Miss Annie Smith, who's gonna briefly tell us about the Dillon County Boys and Girls Youth Center.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the council and the citizen of Dillon. My name is Annie Smith. I'm the program manager for Dillon County Boys and Girls Center. I'm here today to see if somewhat there was oversight About a year ago, February the 1st to be exact, we sent a letter out requesting a donation for the Boys and Girls Youth Center. We had confirmation that you received it, but we never got anything back from it. And we were a little concerned about that. Our initial proposal request was for $25,000, which was supposed to be $5,000 per year for 5 years. That $5,000 per year investment would assist the youth center in meeting our goals for the programs dedicated to the youth in Dillon County on a yearly basis. Just to outline some of the programs that we do, our signature program is a Ruby and Rose reading program, where we go into the two poverty schools in Dillon County, which is South Elementary and Stewart High Elementary. We read to the 4K elementary kids. We do that monthly. And the book that we read to them, after we discuss the books, we give each student a book to take home to start their own personal library. And our goal in doing that is to hope that they would read more, would love to read, and the parents would read to their kids. And they would be, get a love of reading and engage parents in reading to their children through a build-at-home library program. The program is going into the 3rd year. The teachers as well as the parents love what we do. Each month before we read the new book, we go back and ask the students about the book the month before. And most of the kids can tell us about that books. So we feel good about that because we know they're either reading or their parents are reading to them or someone is reading to them at home. The Youth Center would like to expand this program. Right now we're doing it to 2 schools, the lowest poverty school in Dillon County. We would like to do it to the rest of the schools, but financially we can't afford it, which is why we're asking for donations. The Youth Center also conduct on an annual basis a Young Lady Empowerment Summit for the female youth in Dillon County. We invite motivational speakers from surrounding area. But what is unique about this is the motivational speakers that we invite are kids who have graduated from our local high school that have gone on to be productive citizens. Unfortunately, some other county. But what they do is they come back and they talk to the students, and it makes them feel good about themselves, self-esteem that you can also exceed. Some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers, and some of them are entrepreneurs. So it helps the kids out to see that anything is possible. We also do an annual empowerment for the young men. This summit is open to all young men from 13 to 25 years of age, exposing them to an array of topics in which young men need to be talking among themselves and father figures. As you know, Dillon County ranked number 11 in teenage pregnancy. We also have a program. We just won a grant partnering with McLeod Hospital, Dillon County School District, and Care South, where we're setting up programs and training for at-risk kids to educate them on teen pregnancy prevention. We just set up a couple of condom access points as well for young men and young ladies. And we used places like that they frequent on a normal basis. We used like beauty salons, barbershops, and places of such where they would go in. And what we were allowed to do is condom access points have a label. We've had them to put those labels in at their window, and that automatically let a child, a young man know, or a young lady, that they can go in and use the bathroom and they can get condoms for free. Since our original letter in February and your acknowledgement in April, and your numerous budget meetings and workshops, we have witnessed numerous motions and seconds by different council members on an array of issues, from thousands of dollars each for softball leagues or championship plays, and nothing wrong with that. Thousands of dollars in local clubs and foundations, and nothing's wrong with that either, if council thinks they needed it. Yes, council donates funds to the Youth Center program, and we thank you on a regular basis, on a case-by-case basis. However, we have yet to visit the issue of the City Council and the Dillon County Boys and Youth Center. It is almost 1 year since we request representation within the City Council budget, but as of yet, we haven't had the opportunity to sit down and discuss what the council can do for us or what we can do for you. We are only asking for fair representation within the budget of the City Council, just as representation is given to other organizations. To me, there's nothing on God's green earth more important, more precious than our beautiful children. We are not looking for a donation, but a long-term investment in our children in Dillon County, whereby that investment can reap benefits that will last a lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
I haven't seen that. I'm sure Glenn has. He'll get it to us.
Okay.
Where is your location?
We're opening an office now in Latta, what used to be the old Harry's Fish and Chip. We're going to be moving into that this month.
What's your total budget? And
Our total budget for the year is $125.
I was at your fundraiser.
Yeah, exactly. We thank you for it too.
All right, we'll be back in touch. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else they want to bring up? With nothing, unfinished business, we have none. New business, we have none. Council member reports, Mr. Eller.
Yeah, I'd like to recognize the new police officer that just graduated from the academy. Maybe he could stand up, tell us a little about himself. Chief Lane can introduce him if you don't mind.
This is John Pepford. He has just graduated the police academy. It's a 12-week long academy, basic training in Columbia. He spent that time away from his family and worked hard, studied hard, and he was able to complete that just before Christmas. So he actually graduated on our city Christmas party day. So.
Y'all were there. Some of the officers on that party.
Tell them, John, what's that little thing above your name there?
Oh, this here is the 3 Mile Challenge Run. So it's quite the experience. So,
You led your class, right?
yes, sir. I was the actual guide on for my class 657. So it's a great experience, and I learned a lot. And I got to meet a lot of good people. So I thank you for the good experience and allowing me to be of service to you. So,
where you from?
I'm from Temperance Hill community,
Okay.
and it's in Marion County. So it's
I must say, you look fantastic. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Kevlar does you well.
This is all Army. This is all Army muscle. So
Before you go on, Mr. L, I'd like to inject that the chief and I were talking prior to the council meeting that we're going to try to incorporate, bring each shift in around their work schedule so y'all can get to see faces for each shift and that type of thing. So we're going to try to incorporate that starting next month. So hopefully with over a year period of time, everybody has come in. I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
that's great. Also, David, you just hired 2 or 3 more police officers, so we're trying to get at full capacity again. And, you know,
we're trying.
we're trying. Doing a great job.
Thank you.
How many you got left there? Vacancies?
2.
Still got 2 vacancies?
Switching gears, like I said, thank you, man. Appreciate what you've done in graduating the academy. I hope you'll be a leader towards the other new recruits and show them the way.
yes, sir.
Miss Janet, I'd like to ask you on the hospitality fund. I'm not going to take it too long, Mayor. You asked me to make it real short. I see where we took $146,000 and it went back to the general fund. What was the purpose of that?
It is where the wellness center expenses exceeded the revenues.
Okay. Glenn, I noticed we bought 4 new police cars. Good thing. My question was, we took and bought it out the drug fund
That's correct.
instead of the DEA fund. Can you elaborate a little bit on why we did that?
I'll let the chief, because there was more money in that one. Am I correct, chief?
That's right, we had more money in the state drug fund, so we were trying not to deplete that DEA fund.
Okay.
And those were approved, I think 2 of them were approved when we had our meeting in October after the storm.
3 of them.
3 of them?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
fine, I just didn't know why you did one or
Yes.
the other, and want to get some confirmation on that. The last thing I had is before the storm came, we talked about the golf course. You were gonna bring some numbers back to us.
Yeah.
It's about that time that we start talking about the golf course.
That
because it's-
expires in June of 18.
Right,
Yes.
and if you could, I'm not gonna make it
No,
long.
I think we should need to talk about it.
Would you bring some numbers back to us next meeting, and we'll go from there?
That would be fine.
That's all I got.
Have we replaced all of the equipment that was lost in the storm at this point and all the vehicles?
No, we have not replaced all the vehicles. We lost, when I say lost, insurance company took from us because they were totaled. How many police cars did they take?
They paid us for 5 police cars.
We kept 2, so they
We
took 3.
kept 2, and we're hoping to get those running again, because we're short cars, we don't have no cars.
And then at street department, they took a local boom loader.
Yes, sir.
What else? That it?
Jeep Cherokee and, well, we had a truck. So, yeah, Jeep Cherokee and a knuckle boom loader.
All right. And 2 golf carts that the meter reader guys use. What else?
Altogether, we had 10 vehicles, and then the golf carts, and then the contents in the shop. We're working on getting that back.
Well, not to cut you off, Mr. Brad. One question though, does all of our police officers have a vehicle to drive at this point? Or are we having to stagger some way?
At this point, unless we have them, everybody has a car right now.
Okay.
Once we're at full staff, no.
Okay. So what are we gonna need to do going forward?
We're going to get new cars.
So we need to be working on that in the next couple of months.
That's correct.
We got budget coming from this.
Okay.
No,
I think we need to have some more buggies pick up in the neighborhood.
golf. I had to think for a second. Grocery cars.
Grocery carts,
Yeah.
kind of middle in the neighborhood.
We usually try to do that. Bert, you still do that on Fridays when they get a chance? or-
Yes, sir, we've kind of been running a little off schedule lately.
That's all right.
I'll make a motion, we go out of regular session, go into executive session.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you all.